The Mindfulness Monday. As soon as you let me know that you're here and ready to be brought on, I'll bring you on. But until then, I'm checking in with you all. If you are in need of a check-in, comment check in on me, send me a DM, and let me know that you're ready to be checked in on. If you know somebody, if there's somebody in your life who you've been observing, you'd like to check in on them, send me their information and allow me to check in on your people. Mr. Mason, are you ready? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I am adding you now. What did that say? Come on, Facebook, work with me. It says adding. It says adding. I'm gonna try Joe way. Let me end this one and I'm gonna add it from here. Is anything coming through on your end? What does the phone say? What does the Facebook message say? It's just loading on my end. It just says loading. It's loading and loading. I'm gonna try it one more time, Mr. Mason. Log back in, add, ask to be added, or I'm gonna add you on. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna go on over to the Zoom. I appreciate y'all's patience with me. All right, it says adding again. It's just loading and loading and loading. Tell you what. All right, y'all. It's all right because I got it up on Zoom. You could join my Zoom. Hello.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it that way.
I was trying to be patient with it, but it seems to, want to give me a little trouble every time.
Facebook has its own mind, its own mind. It's all good. How are you?
All is well my way. All is well my way. Thank you for
Uh,
allowing me to check in with you before I turn my camera to you. Are you okay with being on camera?
yeah, let's go.
Right. Just wanted to make sure first. Okay. How are you, Miss Mason?
I am doing wonderful. Got no complaints. Happy to be here with you. I have followed your journey,
Mhm.
watched some of your interviews. As a matter of fact, you did a great job last week with my fraternity brother, Derek. Looks like a whole lot of people tuned in. So I guess it's my turn.
Yes, it is your turn. Yes, it is. So, what made you even agree to Mindfulness Monday check-in?
You know what? I love the fact that social media has allowed for many of us to have platforms to
Okay.
be able to reach people. And at the end of the day, every message that we get on Facebook, Instagram, and all the others is not necessarily positive. It's good to be a part of something positive and something that might be able to help somebody. You never know. I tell people all the time, don't be afraid of sharing your testimony because your testimony might be a a statement that might help somebody else get through their storm. So I'm
Yeah,
happy to join in.
absolutely. Now, when you speak of testimony, now we all have stories and we all have testimonies. How do you feel like is the best way to share a testimony or where to start? Because, it's a long journey.
Yeah, you got to learn how. First of all, you got to know how to read the room,
Okay.
and you've got to know the space that you're in. I talk to my sons a lot about knowing the space that you're in,
Mhm.
and then you got to kind of let instinct guide you. I'm a big instinct person,
Okay.
and I believe God's given me good discernment
Mhm.
to be able to know when, where, and how. Doesn't mean I do it right all the time,
Right.
but and then the journey of sharing your story is just starting from a place of truth. But you got to be able to trust people. No pun intended. True, true. No pun intended. But you got to be able to trust the people that you're talking to, not to take advantage of your vulnerability.
Absolutely. Now, you spoke of a lot right then, but when we speak of social media, you can't really see who your message is getting to. You're just the person that's putting out the information. So when it comes to being vulnerable on social media, do you feel like there's a such thing as a safe space to
So
read?
you got to be able to trust the person you're talking to, right? So I've watched you operate over a period of time, and I know that the people that come on to your platform are safe. Now, here's the other side of it. I own a radio station, right? So I do believe in reciprocity.
Okay.
So that means that one day I may have to give you a call and you're going to have to come on my station and
I'm
talk
ready.
to me about what's going on with you.
I
So,
am ready. I'm ready for sure, for sure. Okay, so you agree for the check-in because you excuse me, tongue. Let me slow down. You understand the message. You understand what's going on here.
and I understand the messenger.
You understand the messenger. Oh, I
I believe I
appreciate it.
do.
I receive. I receive.
Mhm.
Tell me about your day. How was your day today?
Yeah, so I I was up at 6
Right.
and preparing. So now my journey is a bit different than most in as much as I live in North Jersey. Now I know you are in Birmingham.
I'm in
Uh,
Atlanta. I'm
huh?
in Georgia. I'm in Georgia right now.
Oh, you're in Georgia. Okay, all right. So let me try to help you out. Atlanta to Birmingham is about my daily commute.
Okay.
Okay. So I live in North Jersey and I commute to Philadelphia, and there's a interesting story behind how that all came to be. Nonetheless, I get up around 6 o'clock. I make it down to my office about 8:30. As I'm driving down the road, my engine light goes on.
Okay.
And I've never seen that on my car before.
Yeah.
So I've got to pivot from some things that I was going to do
Mhm.
in order to be able to go and drop my car at the dealership.
Mhm.
Because I got to share this with everybody because I know there's some folk out there that don't know automobiles, and I want to speak to some of the young ladies out there. When the engine light goes on, stop driving your car. All right,
Oh.
get it to the shop as soon as possible. Let's not think it's just going to go off, right?
Mm,
So now my car is at the shop. It's been there all day. So things that I thought I was going to be able to get out and do, such as visit a couple of our members who are in the hospital, I was
mhm,
not able to do.
mm.
And I'm driving the church van until my car gets fixed tomorrow because I now have a son that's 18
Okay.
and he asked me to drive the other car all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't have the flexibility of moving between vehicles anymore without
Right.
stunting him. So
Right.
so the day ended up being mostly in the office, going through mail, responding to some clients
Yeah.
that want to be on our station, and preparing for this upcoming weekend, this Sunday.
Okay, good. So we're gonna rewind before we go forward. And
Sure.
anything that I ask you, it's up to you. You can tell me to mind thine own business. I won't take it personally just this time, okay?
All right.
But when it comes to the check engine light coming on in the car,
Yeah.
we also could be considered to be vehicles carrying the mission forward, and we are the vehicle that drives that, right?
Mhm.
What happens when your check engine comes on, or does it ever?
Yeah. So there is a Bible study that I teach.
Okay.
And it's called When the Tow Truck Needs a Tow.
Okay.
All right. Think about it. The tow truck always comes to pick everybody else up.
Hmm.
But every now and then the tow truck breaks down.
For sure.
And so for me, one of my weaknesses is not taking time to um, to take the car to the shop. All right. I don't take enough time off. And I'm not going to be one of those people who highlights a weakness and it's really a strength. It's a real weakness.
Yeah.
Uh, and and I tend to be a bit of, and always have been, a bit of a workaholic. I'm blessed, and I mean this. I'm blessed to have two awesome sons.
Hmm.
So the hustle at this point in my life is all about making sure they're okay. Dad has as one of my managers said to me back in the 90s, he says, Mr. Mason, he says, I'm at the tail end of a mediocre career.
Hmm.
So I'm pouring into you now. And so I'll use his words. I'm at the tail end of a mediocre career. And right now, my hustle is about them. So, my goal is to make sure that they're all right
Yeah.
in everything they do. That if dad leaves here tomorrow, that they are set and ready to move on and enjoy their journey. So that causes me to run a little bit when the oil might need to be changed, run a little bit when the tires might need to be rotated, run a little bit when, yeah, the engine might need to be checked.
Hey, okay, Mr. Mason, so I'm gonna throw it back to you and I'm gonna call you out because you mentioned at the beginning, and to any lady that's listening or anybody that's driving and doesn't know about automobiles, whenever the check engine light comes on, stop driving the vehicle immediately.
Yeah.
Now, having this awareness of yourself and also recognizing that it's a weakness in yourself, why is it that you choose not to pour back into that engine and get that oil change so that you'll have just a little bit more to give it to your sons?
Yeah. And again, I gotta find that. I really do. Um, it's a lot about how we're wired, right? It's a lot about how I watched my father operate. It's a lot about just the life experiences of losing
Yeah,
and then gaining back. Don't ever let anybody tell you who considers themselves to be somewhat successful that they haven't had some bumps in the road.
I think I'd be scared if
And
they told me that.
yeah, yeah, because they're lying.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I always want to be successful in what I do.
Mhm.
It's just an inner drive. But I'm fully aware of the fact that sometimes you got to sit down. Now, I will say this. Um, there are times, and I'll say this to my sons. I have custody of my two boys. I don't know if you can say you have custody of an 18-year-old anyway.
I
So I
was
got an
thinking that, but I
18-year-old.
said I'm mind my business. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I got an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. So I got custody of 14. The
Yeah.
18-year-old's in college. I guess as long as I'm paying that tuition, he's in my custody,
Hello.
right?
Hello.
But anyway, the conversation that I have with them is, you know what? And at night when I get home, we typically gather together.
Yeah.
We talk, we laugh, we joke. And I'll say, you know what? I've gone back and forth to Philly 10 days in a row.
Mm.
I got to stay home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So every now and then I will put the emergency brake on.
Okay.
Every now and then. And then what do I do on those days? I'm a huge fan of Bonanza,
Mm.
right? Now that's past your generation, I
I'm gonna
believe.
say I don't think I know what Bonanza is. I've seen the
Yeah, you might want
TV.
YouTube it when you get off today.
All right.
But I'm a huge fan of Bonanza. And I told my congregation this a couple of weeks ago in a sermon. It's about 415 episodes over 14 seasons,
Ooh.
and I've watched every last one of them. And then
Yeah.
once I go through all 14 seasons, I go back and start at season one again.
Ooh.
That's my release when I'm at home. Also, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan
Okay.
from the time I was 8, 9 years old. And I got a buddy that's on Facebook. His name is Marcus Hackett. We grew
Mhm.
up together on Coolidge Avenue in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. He introduced me to wrestling when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I have never, ever left that love.
Yeah.
And so I'll watch old wrestling. I got about
Mhm.
400 old wrestling tapes from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
Wow.
90s, from all over the world. So I'll
Yeah.
take that time into decompress. I got two dogs, a Great Dane and a Pit Lab mix.
Okay.
I enjoy them. So when I do put on the emergency brake, those are some of the things I like to do just to
Yeah.
decompress.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you one more question about your kids before
Yeah,
I turn it all the way back into checking in on you.
yeah.
If you were to speak to your sons, if your son, let's just say the 18-year-old, he's in college, we've been 18 before. We know what the college life may be. It can also be overwhelming. It has its moments. What if your son were to ask you, hey dad, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little burnt out. I'm feeling stressed out, but I feel like I need to keep going because I've always seen you keep going. I've seen granddad keep going. This is in our wiring. What to do? What advice
Yeah.
would you offer to him?
And isn't it a shame that the advice I would offer him is the advice I wouldn't take for myself,
It's not a
right?
shame. It's not, it's the
And
reality. Yeah.
on his campus, there is a lake, and it looks like it's a man-made lake. I don't know if it is or not, but they have benches all around.
Yeah.
And I say to him every time I go and drop him off at campus, I'm like, man, I said, if I went to school here, this is those benches would see me on a consistent basis. When I went to Norfolk State University, and after I graduated, I moved to Virginia Beach, and I intentionally got an apartment that was on a man-made lake. And at night, and this was when I didn't have all of the different stressors that I have now, but at night, I would go out there with my radio and some Hardee's chicken. This when Hardee's actually sold pieces of chicken and not sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
And some hot and some sweet tea. And I'd sit out there and watch the ducks roll by. And it was just an opportunity to decompress. So I would tell him, and I have told him, man, go sit out that lake sometime, because he's involved in about 8 different things on campus. He's a rustler, like his father was. He's in the pep band. He's in the Black Student Union. He's the treasurer for the theater group.
Yeah.
He's got a whole bunch of things going on. And I tell him, dude, sometimes you just got to sit
Mm-hmm.
down and chill. Now, I'm not worried about him, I got to be honest. His girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
who was a year behind him in school, but a year older than him,
Mm-hmm.
has decided to go to the same school as him this fall. And that ain't good. So we're having a lot of conversations right now about that situation and how he's going to handle that. So he's got some mountains to climb. We're gonna work on him. You might check on him around December.
Send them my way. Send them my way. But I wanted to ask that for sure because again, we have most of the times all of the tools. We know what to do. We know what to say. But what is actually the practice? So you mentioned your bonanza and tending to your dogs is your decompression.
Mhm.
How else do you decompress in a way that if I don't watch TV or if I don't have dogs, what could be other ways that a person can decompress?
So I like long drives.
Insane.
I don't mind driving. Um, um, I um, I built a property
Mm,
in Rustburg, Virginia, several years ago. It's 23 acres down there.
okay.
And I actually built a lake on that property and loaded it with fish. And so when I can, before 2021, 2021 is the line of demarcation, right? That's the year that I divorced or that I was divorced.
Okay.
And so prior to that, I was there all the time. We took groups of kids down there. We built it. It's called Camp New Joy, and it's a place where we take kids that are from the hood, kids who don't typically get out of their zip code,
Yeah.
and help them to understand that they're defined by their character and not by where they come from. And I built that place to be like when the kids go down there, they don't want to leave, right?
Right.
They want to always be there. And
Right.
so when I don't have kids, and we take them in the summers when they're off from school.
Hmm.
So what I would do when it wasn't the summer, the fall and the winter, is that would be my place to go,
Yeah.
and just, we built a house there. It's 5,500 square feet. And you got the lake, you got the land, you got the animals. And it's
Yeah.
God's country. But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, I don't get a chance to go there as often because I got the 14-year-old at the house and we just don't get a chance to go. So I miss that.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out how to work that into the equation a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And when it comes to your support system, I know you mentioned a good friend of yours is Derek. Do you feel you have or what does your support system look like
My
when it comes?
dad taught me and so I turned the AC off in my office
Mhm.
because I felt like it would be distracting. I'm tempted to turn it back on because I'm starting to sweat in here,
Turn
but
your
but
air
but we'll
on so you
we'll,
can
we'll
get comfortable.
figure it out in a second. But my dad taught me, and this was his mantra: if you find two or three good friends in this life, you're blessed, right? I can say that I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I've always had a tight circle.
Hmm.
But these are people who I've been with them for years, decades, and they've been with me. I don't have to worry about the backbiting, backsliding, the betrayal. There's a core group of folk that I can say I trust with my life.
Yeah.
So when I'm on those drives, those 90-minute drives every day, that round trip commute, I'm on the phone talking to some of those individuals.
Yeah.
Um, when I One of my great joys is I'm a visiting professor at my alma mater, Norfolk State University.
Okay.
My classes are on Monday nights.
Mhm.
So I literally drive or fly to Norfolk to teach my classes on
Wow.
Monday. I do it at least half. So if there are 15 classes in the semester, I try to do 7 or 8 of those classes in person because this virtual stuff for teaching, it's just not giving you the full experience. And
Yeah.
so why am I sharing that? Because those drives are outstanding. But at the end of those drives is Norfolk. And after I teach my classes, many of the folk that I'm cool with are in Norfolk because that's where I was when I went to college. And so we get to go out to dinner, we get to, whatever. Those things are therapeutic
Absolutely.
and incredibly important.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that gives me great enjoyment. Giving back to those kids for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I lie. I never keep my class 3 hours.
Ah.
About 90 good minutes, and the preacher is done preaching, right? But 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then going out to dinner with some friends. Man, it's awesome. I love it. I would do it for free. That's how much I enjoy it.
Let me take your job. What are you teaching?
So I have a 30-year career. I can't believe this.
Mhm.
I graduated. I always tell people I graduated Norfolk State on May the 12th, 1995. And the very next day, I started working in radio sales in Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in radio sales in Norfolk, Virginia for 2.5 years, um, learning the craft, learning the art form. See, because sales is not just specific to that industry. The techniques of sales, the skill set, they're skills you can use in every aspect of your life.
Right,
And that's how I teach my class. Many of those kids are there because they just need the credits. And
right,
I challenge them to just open up their mind and learn the skills that I'm teaching. Even if this is not what you want to do for a living, learn the skills, because then you'll realize when you go to a store that the price is not really the price. Then you'll realize when you're dating that you got to ask certain questions in order to get to the clothes. Then
mm,
you'll realize when you're dealing with your children that sometimes you've got to do a needs analysis, a sales
right.
technique, to find out what they're dealing with, so then you can provide a solution. And so when I
Absolutely.
get the kids to start thinking like that, then they're like, whoa, I had no idea. And
See
that's
it
the
differently.
fulfilling part. So I teach
Absolutely.
sales and I teach broadcasting, radio broadcasting. So basically the history of radio,
Okay.
because this is what I've been doing for 30 years.
Cool. That's cool. I'm gonna pivot backwards to when you mentioned the drives that you take and speaking with your friends. And if you need to turn your air on, do be comfortable.
No, because you know what? You know what? I got to I got to go behind the scenes. So we were testing earlier today, and we were trying to figure out this Facebook thing, and I could tell a sister was hot. I could tell wherever you were that the heat was there. So if you could endure doing the test, I can endure doing the engagement here.
You
So
didn't even
I'm
know you
all
could
right.
see me. You must have saw me over here like this.
Now what I heard was whoo, whoo. I kept hearing all of that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, wherever she is
No,
hot down there.
I didn't
So
know.
I'm all right. I'm good.
Yep, I didn't even know you can hear that. I do that all day. But okay, the core group of friends, are they the same core group of people that you can be vulnerable with, that you can share, hey, I'm not feeling it today. Hey, I just went through this thing. I really want you to know that this is the truth of how I'm feeling, not just the surface level conversations.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
one of the toughest things that I'm dealing with right now is that one of my mentors,
Mhm.
who literally has known me since 1992, has been diagnosed last year with Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
And it's such a difficult situation because he has no children. It's
Mhm.
just he and his wife,
Mhm.
and they do live in Chesapeake, Virginia. And so you talk about the ones you can be. That was the guy, right? I could call. We'll talk for an hour. No judgment zone, you
Right.
know. And now when I talk, it reminds me of the conversations I used to have with my mother. My mother had Alzheimer's and COPD, and there came a point during her journey where physically mom was still there, but the mom that raised me, nurtured me, loved me, cared for me, she had left the building.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of going through that journey with my mentor right now. And that's difficult to have
Right.
experienced it with mom from basically 2015 to August of 2023 when she passed. And I remember it like it was
Yeah.
yesterday, right?
Right.
Um, you talk about a tough journey. Talk about having to preach your mother's eulogy, right?
Mhm.
That's a journey.
Mm.
But then now to see it with somebody who I've been friends with for 33 years, it's tough. So that that is a person who, yeah, we had those conversations. So I'm one down as
Yeah.
relates to him. When I call now, I'm really just checking in on him. Just
Right.
want to hear his voice, try to make his brain work, make him try to, just let's talk about the football team because he used to play football at Norfolk State like I did.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I've got a couple other folks where I can say, here's what's really going on, you know.
Right.
And that's important. You got to have that, or else I tell people it's like you're like a teapot, and eventually, that little whistle. If you don't let it out, that whole thing's going to explode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And probably on the wrong person for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So when it comes to the feelings that may be arising now with your friend and the feelings that are attached to losing your mom, is there a certain way that you process those feelings that come up?
Yeah, I got to tell you, and again, and I got to say this. I have
Yeah.
no idea how we
Mm.
became Facebook friends,
Okay.
right? I have no idea how long it's been,
Yeah.
but I have watched your grind,
Mm.
because you're pretty prolific at social media.
Mm.
I've watched your hustle, but I've also witnessed your relationship with your mother,
Mm.
uh, and um, and I love that closeness,
Yeah.
right? Um, my dad passed away, and if the screen wasn't blurry, you'd see his picture right on my wall there. It's
Yeah.
huge. But my dad passed away November the 8th, 2014.
Mm.
I was chairing. This is interesting. I'm gonna come back to your question. Just
Okay.
roll with me.
Gotcha.
Um, served as the international president of Phi Beta Sigma, the greatest fraternity in all the land. I believe you went to an HBC. I don't know what
I did.
school, but
Miles College.
Well, okay, all right. So Miles, we had a chapter at Miles College. I hope you were kind to the men of Sigma. But at the end of the day, I served as their international president from 2013 to 2017. One of the greatest joys of my life.
Mm.
And we had a general board meeting. And the general board meeting was in Nassau, Bahamas. And we knew Dad was, we knew he was in a difficult state.
Yeah.
But my mother told me, no, you got all these people going to Nassau. We're here with your father. You go take care of your meeting. And so I left on around the 6th, 5th or 6th to go to my meeting of November 2014. Dad passed on the Saturday while I was chairing the general board meeting. She called me. I had to take a quick break. And I came back in and I had to finish chairing that meeting. I
Yeah.
didn't tell the members, I didn't say anything to them. I
Yeah.
finished chairing that meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, I explained to them why I wouldn't be at the dinner. I had to
Yeah.
leave. I had to get back to
Yeah.
my family. Long story short, I thought that was the toughest journey of my life,
Mm.
losing my hero. My father
Mm.
was a part of the civil rights movement. My father pastored the church I pastor
Yeah.
for 41 years. The street out here is named after him. He marched with King,
Yeah.
helped start Rainbow Push in Pennsylvania for Jesse Jackson. My dad was the man,
Right.
right? For me, he was the man.
Right.
And I believe in many respects I'm still covered by his presence.
Absolutely.
Even over 10 years he's been gone. I thought that was the toughest journey of my life. But when you lose a mother, when your mother leaves this journey,
Mm.
I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I will
Mm.
tell you, and I shared it from the pulpit. Sometimes I'll be driving down the highway, random thought of mom, boom, it's all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
It's all over. I'll, I'll never forget. I was driving down the highway. My baby boy he was in the back of the car. He likes to sit in the third row,
Yeah.
right?
I
And
feel
I don't know why, but he likes to sit in the third row. And I'm driving down to church on Sunday, and I don't know what song played on the radio. No, no. Sometimes I torture myself. I do. So Shirley Caesar is my favorite gospel artist, right? And so I Remember Mama is one of her songs. And I was playing it. And as I was playing it, man, they were just and I remember later in the afternoon I was telling my brother about it. And I said, Jackson, you didn't see your daddy up there tearing up, did you? He said, oh no, I saw you, Dad. I said, oh Lord. I said, so 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 let me say this, coming back to your original question. Um, when the mother transitions, that's a different feeling. And you don't get over it, but faith in God will get you through it. And so that's what I'm counting on at this point in time is my continued faith to get through it because it ain't easy.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable and hugs, sending you peace on your journey with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can't relate. However, I have heard stories and I do understand. I can
Mhm,
understand that.
mhm.
Okay. We're going to pivot a little bit, but before we do, I do not want our call to disconnect. The Zoom is running out of time.
Can you believe we've already been talking almost 40 minutes?
You understand? It doesn't feel that way, right?
I'm a talker, I guess. But you're a good interviewer, so it all works together. What do
It
you
all
want to do?
it always does. I'm going to end this meeting and I'm going to relaunch it. So if you can rejoin the same link that I sent you to
I
finish the
sure
meeting.
will.
All right.